Library Helpers by Elizabeth Robinson. Why are library helpers needed? Running a public school library can be a challenge, even if you are blessed with an aide. Library helpers give librarians much needed assistance and allow librarians to teach and pass on skills necessary to maintain a library facility. Having library helpers also gives librarians the opportunity to bond with students and find out firsthand what books and topics are of interest to the students they serve. Benefits of having library helpers. There are benefits for the library. More help shelving books, more help with one-on-one assistance for patrons looking for books, feedback on which books to purchase for the library. Library helpers can recommend books to their peers, which is something that's so important to me especially. Benefits for library helpers. Learning new skills that can benefit them in the future. Let's face it, they're going to be looking for books their entire lives in middle school, high school, college, you name it. Personal satisfaction with a job well done. Learning responsibility. Rewards given by the librarian. I personally reward my students all the time. Feeling more connected to the library. And a big one for me is fostering a love of books. How to choose library helpers. In order for students to be chosen as library helpers, they should fill out an application, maintain good academic standing in all their classes, have recommendations from teachers, at least 3, display appropriate behavior at all times, in and out of the library, have a willingness to learn. The Dewey Decimal System isn't the easiest thing, and these children need to be willing to learn it. Have parents to support their commitment. So they need to have parents that are willing to let them stay after school or come before school and provide that transportation. Have a love for books and reading that they will share with others. It's important for them to be role models for the students that come into the library and share their love of reading and make it something contagious. When do library helpers work? Well, that all depends on their grade level and the scheduling that they have. So library helpers can help during a predetermined time of the day in their schedule or throughout the morning and after school. Skills and responsibilities. Skills include understanding how to use the Dewey Decimal System, which is a big skill and needs to be enforced. Understanding how to check in and check out books to patrons. Responsibilities include shelving books, which is where the Dewey Decimal System comes into play, helping patrons to locate books, again with the Dewey Decimal System, recommending books to patrons, which, let's face it, there's always going to be that child that comes into the library and has no clue what to check out. And also keeping the library clean and organized, which is the big deal because we all want our libraries to look neat and for our patrons to respect them. What having library helpers means for librarians. Well, many hands make light work. It frees you up to do other things. You are going to have to train your students how to use the Dewey Decimal System, which might take a while. You're also going to have to monitor library helpers to ensure that their work is quality, that it's not just putting books back wherever they want them to go. They have to follow the system. You have to manage their schedule to make sure that they're in and out of the library when it's appropriate. You have to motivate your students to want to stick with the program and come back year after year. Bonding with a group of students, which is something that, let's face it, we don't get to do as much anymore when we're in the library as opposed to being classroom teachers. So it gives us that opportunity to work with kids one-on-one. And also, you must enforce consequences. Nobody likes to be the bad guy, but every once in a while, you just have to. And it's part of the job of having helpers. You must show them that there are consequences for their actions, both good and bad. Citation. So I found 2 really great articles that helped me with this presentation. Library help is closer than you think, and implementing a library helper program is easy, economical, and energizing. I was also able to have email correspondence with my librarian community through the TLC listserv and with my colleagues here in the San Benito School District. Through the listserv, I found 2 incredible emails by Linda Gomez and Sherry Everett. They were kind enough to share what they do in their library, and I was also able to correspond with some of my colleagues here in the San Benito School District. And I would especially like to thank Julissa Garcia, Jennifer Garcia, Blanca Bailly, and Mandy Martinez for their help and support. And I really enjoyed this presentation, putting it together and finding out more information, because I do plan on using library helpers in my library in the future. Thank you.